Hello everyone! This is the video made by Amy and Jenna, which explains a web page we made about totalitarian states, specifically Germany and North Korea. The website URL is amykang96.wix.com/totalitarian-gov.
So let us go see how it looks like. The homepage is like the introduction and has a definition of totalitarianism. Totalitarianism is a form of government in which the state has absolute control over almost every aspect of people's lives. The individual is considered a servant of the state and is allowed almost no freedom of choice or expression. This page also includes a summary of the tremendous impacts of a totalitarian government. There are photos that show a glimpse of what a totalitarian state looks like. And when you see the pictures on the upper right corner here, it shows just how much fear and violence are usually involved in creating a totalitarian state.
When you go to the Germany section, the first thing you can see are giant photos that represent Germany. This page mainly explains how Germany became a totalitarian state. So as you go further down, it explains about the Treaty of Versailles and how Germany's economy looked like after losing World War I. Basically, when Germany lost in World War I, their economy was destroyed. The treaty demanded them to pay for all the damage they'd caused and restricted Germany's powerful weapons and militaries. It was bad enough that they had to pay big money, but their industrial land, where most of their sources of money came from, was taken away by the French. This was where Hitler came to play and created a totalitarian government. The reason why he was able to succeed in gaining massive votes was because of his promises to restore the country. And at that time, that was what people wanted and needed the most. The video on the bottom of the page shows a glimpse of how Hitler came to power and therefore created a totalitarian government. This video is too long to show the whole thing, so we are just going to show you the climax of Hitler's speech.
In uns selbst allein liegt die Zukunft des deutschen Volkes. Wenn wir selbst, dieses deutsche Volk, ein Vorführung von eigener Arbeit, von eigenem Fleiß, eigenen Entschlossenheit, eigenen Trotz, eigene Beharrlichkeit, dann werden wir wieder den Vorstein, genau wie die Täter einst auch Deutschland nicht gestellt erhielten, sondern selbst geschaffen.
If you go to How under Germany, it is a list of methods the government used to gain and maintain a totalitarian state. The first one is propaganda and speech. Hitler used positive and authoritative words to grab the people's hearts. Germany had a Ministry of Propaganda which produced and managed all the propaganda across Germany. They contained very positive views of the Nazi Party and negative views of those who weren't part of the superior race, especially the Jews.
The second control is media. All media had to contain pro-Nazi views or anti-Jewish views in order for it to be publicized to the Germans. When it contained neither of these ideas, they were all eliminated.
The third control is education. Early education was considered the most important way of building Nazism to children, so they can grow up with Nazis' views. Then there are right churches, which the Nazi had created. Bishops of the church were the selected members of the party, and any Jews or non-superior race people were suspended.
Next control is Gestapo. These people were involved in a lot of things. They were like the police of today, except that they were taught torture techniques. They were the ones who arrested people even slightly suspected of rebellion. They worked as spies too.
Beside Gestapo is the SS, which was the protection force of the Nazi. It became in charge of concentration camps, bringing fear to all people.
Concentration camps were another method of the government to gain power. There, people were tortured and expected to work extremely hard. It was like a death camp since so many people died there.
Next method is the people's courts that Hitler had created. Here, most of the people put on trial were all executed.
These 8 main methods were what brought people into terror and finally under control of the government. If you go to Civil Lives under Germany, there are descriptions of how the Jews, the men, the women, and the children lived under Hitler's totalitarian regime. The Jewish were probably the people who had to go through the most pain and the most heartbreaks. They were innocent, but Hitler put the country's shame on them. They were hated and captured and sent to concentration camps. But most of them were killed right on the spot. The Jewish people's everyday life involved running away and hiding from German soldiers. The Jewish parents, in order to save their children, hid them because they were much easier to blend in and hide among the German orphans. This is a lifestyle that no human being on earth would like to live.
As for the regular German citizens, they lived without freedom of speech and thought because if the things they believed were contradictory to the thoughts of the government, they might be killed. For those who agree with Hitler and had similar thoughts as him, had not a lot to worry about. However, for those who believed he was wrong, they could get caught helping the Jews and be executed as well along with the Jews. Also, when Hitler came to power under the totalitarian government that he created, all religion was destroyed except the right church that the party themselves had created.
The children were usually part of organizations like Hitler Youth. Instead of having fun and playing, the children lived their daily lives preparing to become a soldier. They were even made to spy on adults.
As for women, their only purpose in life became having as many children as they could to increase the population.
By looking at how the people lived in Germany, we are able to see what happens when one leader has the power over all aspects of life.
When you go to North Korea section, you can see how the former and current leaders of the totalitarian state look like. This page mainly explains how North Korea became a totalitarian state like Germany as well. It all started when World War II ended along with the Japan's colonization of Korea. In a blink, Korea needed a new government. Soviet Union and the United States decided to occupy Korea as trusteeship. But then Communist Soviet Union and North Korea refused to contribute to the Korean election. And the Soviet Union appointed Kim Il-sung as the head of North Korean totalitarian government.
If you go to How under North Korea, it is a list of methods the government used to gain and maintain a totalitarian government. The first method, again like Germany, is propaganda. Pictures of Kim Jong-il and Kim Il-sung are just everywhere. This is to constantly remind the people that the leaders are watching them. It is also proof that the leaders are godlike figures. In North Korea, propaganda is used to graphically and clearly state their enemy, the US. There are posters which show American soldiers torturing and killing the North Korean people. These propaganda posters bring up nationalism.
Education is probably the most successful method of gaining absolute power. In North Korea, indoctrination starts from when a child is 5. They learn to respect and love their leaders. So when they become adults, they naturally accept the propaganda claims that declare the Kims as their gods.
Then there is media. All aspects of media are controlled by the government in North Korea. All information that comes out on TV is arranged for the benefit of the party. Media also contains lies about the party's enemies and also contains clips that contain only the wrongdoings of the enemy. This video on the bottom is a leaked video of a propaganda film from North Korea criticizing the US.
The method that brings the most fear to the people is execution. People have seen it being done and they are scared that it will happen to them if they don't act right. From our viewpoints, there are so many stupid reasons why people are being killed. Many people are executed for having a Bible, watch TV from outside countries, or don't show enough love for their leader, which are all considered acts of rebellion to the North Korean government.
If we go to civil lives under North Korea, there are pictures that show a glimpse of how people in North Korea live. The first picture resembles how North Korean kids are educated with political states of North Korea and rewritten history. Therefore, they recognize the leader of North Korea as a god.
The second picture is showing an Arian festival. Many people enjoy the festival because this is one of the few events in North Korea. However, behind the festival, it contains political and military messages like how North Korea is better than South Korea or other American countries.
The third picture is a picture of a regular North Korean citizen's house. As you can see, there are 3 pictures of former and current leaders of North Korea which the family worships every day.
The fourth picture shows just how executions are not rare in North Korea. People who are against North Korean totalitarian government or who didn't act as what the government wants are executed. Usually the executions were done by shooting.
The next photo is just another picture of soldiers of North Korea executing the people.
The sixth picture is showing concentration camps. Most of the camps are known as the labor concentration camp. However, recently there are some reports saying that North Korea also have the camps of a medical experiment on people or productions of biological chemical weapons.
The next photo shows the current North Korea's market economy. We can notice that the market is not that developed like other countries. Therefore, we can also conclude that the country's economy is also not developed that much.
As you can see in this photo, it is obvious that most of the citizens in North Korea have to struggle to survive every day. North Korea is one of the countries where they have not enough food to eat. Compared to the picture before this picture shows that food is not equally distributed in North Korea. It shows how many people who work for its totalitarian government can live wealthy when most of the citizens are having trouble sustaining their lives.
As for the 10th photo, it is showing people trying to escape North Korea by crossing the river between North Korea and China. Some of them successfully escape, but some are shot or killed while crossing the river.
The last picture is showing just how difficult it is to escape. Most of the people try to escape during winter because it is easier to cross the frozen top of the river than swimming across it. However, just like this picture, many people died due to the weather, starvation, and gunshot.
When you go under pros and cons, there are brief descriptions of some positive effects of totalitarianism as well as the negative effects.
Pros: totalitarian government can bring less popularity dissent, and can also bring less crime. When well controlled, it can bring an economic boom too.
Cons: however, totalitarian government may bring national problems and international problems. As for national problems, it usually includes loss of information, loss of freedom of right, thought, and speech, psychological traumas, and genocide. A totalitarian government can improve economy, but it can also destroy one, just like North Korea.
As for international problems, it usually includes threatening of world peace through wars. Wars destroy land and thus involve too many deaths.
If you go to why negative turnouts under pros and cons, this page is like the conclusion of our project. It contains why the negative effects win over positive effects. The main points are in different colors. Basically, the reason is that the ways to gain absolute power in all aspects of life are usually by violence. This is because in a totalitarian state, it is difficult to maintain totalitarianism when there are people who have contrary thoughts as the government, so the government executes or arrests them. A government that presses human freedom and rights will perish because their main purpose becomes power and not life.
This concludes our presentation of totalitarian governments and its effect on states. As you may have noticed, in order to save time, we could not simply read all the paragraphs, but just briefly describe them. So for more information, visit our website.
Also, please be free to go to the Let's Talk section and share your thoughts about totalitarian governments or feedbacks of our website. You can also see other people's thoughts as well.
These are the resources we used to create our website. Thank you!